Up and running, and Villa Park is loud.
Hello and welcome to the Villa Park podcast. It's me, Rich, and I'm back with another OG. Rich,
Absolutely.
Ready for our match preview of Legia Warsaw v Aston Villa in the Europa Conference League group stages. I know we played Hibs in the playoff, but Rich, this really does feel like Villa back in Europe, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's proper Europe. It's proper Europe. I mean, the game at Villa Park, I was talking to you about the other day. Once that first goal went in at Villa Park, it was a dead rubber game, and you kind of wanted Hibs to score first, just to get that bit of edge to the game. But yeah, it's a real test now of our squad. It's play a few days ago. It's an away leg. It's one of those games that as soon as the draw comes out, you stick in the calendar and you're excited for it. So yeah, I agree. Although saying that, if we'd lost to Hibs, we would have been saying Hibs was a proper European game. But yeah, it's exciting times.
I know. Yeah, we'd have been clutching at those straws straight away. But thankfully we got through. We're going to cover a little bit on maybe one or two players that might feature. Go through a couple of predicted lineups through the team, and maybe just a little bit on Legia Warsaw. Obviously, we don't know a huge amount about them, but talk more around kind of them and what the occasion means, and then of course we'll give our predictions at the end. So and then get involved in the comments what you think the scoreline is going to be, what do you think the predicted lineup's going to be as well. Hit that like button, guys, and hit that subscribe button. We're, I think, 14 away from 2,400. It seems like I've been saying that forever. So if you haven't liked the video or subscribed, please do help us. You guys can help us really reach that 3K on the road to 3K. So please do like and subscribe. So Rich, like I say, these games, you did allude to that, the fact that we are going to have to use our squad. And we've got a game coming up on Sunday. So, Thursday, Sunday, and then it's going to be Wednesday in the Carabao Cup, then another league game, then another Thursday. So games are coming thick and fast. So first, do you expect Emery to make many changes to the lineup that's played against Crystal Palace?
I don't think he will. And then the reason why, well, if I was him, I wouldn't. And the reason why is we've got a much better chance of developing as a club if we go out and win this European competition. I'm fine with us finishing 9th, 10th in the league if it means we've got a European Cup to then put us in, to the Europa League next season. So it's easier said than done, though, right? Because talk to me on Friday and I'll be saying we've got Wolves. It's a derby. It's a massive game. We've got to put our best team out. And sometimes when you look at our bench, you worry a little bit that perhaps there isn't the quality in all the areas that we need. There's some quality players that sit on our bench, don't get me wrong, and there's some great players in our squad. But there are areas within the team where I feel we need to strengthen in January. If we're in the middle of a decent cup run in Europe and whether it's the Carabao Cup and we're doing well in the league, and I suppose that maybe is what Emery, where he wants us to be. He can go to the board and demand a bit more money. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a very similar lineup. In the Hibs game, he played a few of the youngsters. Obviously, Duran got a start. Revan looked okay.
Kellerman played, didn't he?
Yeah, Kellerman got player of the match. I couldn't really see enough of him to warrant him game player of the match. So a game like this, you're screwed if you do, you're screwed if you don't. Like if we lose and we've got a couple of the squad team in, the fans will be complaining that we didn't play our first teamers. So I do think he'll put his strongest foot forward.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's probably scope for a couple of changes, but yeah, I mean, you take I know we've debated for so long over the last week or so, but you take Watkins out, yeah, people are pushing for Duran to get a start, but is he ready? Diaby out of this team is a big miss. Louise at the moment out of this team is a big miss. So, I think Yuri Tielemans could maybe stake a claim for a start after coming on against Palace, and maybe makes one or two changes at the back. Maybe a Callum Chambers or someone like that. But yeah, I'm kind of with you with putting your best foot forward, and I'm sure the players, the likes of Watkins, the likes of Louise and Martinez, etc., they're chomping at the bit to get into a proper European game, similar to the fans. I think I might have lost you there, mate.
And it's also the games that. Now,
No, you're back.
I heard enough what you're saying. They're big game. Yeah, they're big game players as well. So you see so many players move for European football. So when you've got it, you're going to want to play them in it. Tielemans, I think, will probably feature. There's been a few comments recently from him about wanting to play, and I do think he's not. Whilst he's a squad player, I don't think he's a step down from the midfielders that we've got. I think he can go in and hold his own. When I look at some of the other squad players, Duran, I think, I don't think he starts. I think he's looked electric when he's come on. His goal against Hibs, first touch, brilliant finish. Goal at the weekend, unbelievable. But he hits that another 20 times and it flies over. But I think he's a headache that Watkins. That Watkins doesn't necessarily bring every game, and I think he's a better headache to bring off the bench against tighter legs.
Yeah,
so
yeah. True.
But
Well, let's have a look at a couple. Sorry, go on, mate.
Yeah, but I was going to say Emery can't win. If he plays some of his stronger players and they get injured, come Sunday, people will be moaning that it's Wolves, it's a big derby. Why is it? Why didn't he rest McGinn? Can't win.
It's Chelsea this Sunday, but yeah, it's a big game nonetheless. Right. Yeah, big game nonetheless. I mean, even so, like, it's an opportunity to go and beat Chelsea. And yeah, I totally agree. But I guess the advantage is it's still fairly early in the season, so that fatigue level maybe isn't a question at the moment.
Yeah, sorry, my mistake. Talking of Chelsea, they're there for the taking as well. As I saw their lineup in the last game, and there's no way they've spent that money wisely. They're there for us to go and beat. And but again, this is the healthy headache that we've always wanted to be. And if you were to go back to some of the first episodes we ever did, like, we didn't have these good headaches. So it's a privilege to have them. It's a privilege to be talking about what team we should play in a European fixture. And yeah, going back to the point I made right at the start, I'd rather us throw everything into Europe and it affect our league form than the other way around.
Yeah, cool. Well, let's have a look at a couple of the starting lineups that us and the Villa Park, me and the Villa Park Pod team have had. So I'll put my team up first. I've gone for Martinez, Chambers. I've gone at right back, Konsa, Torres, Luka Dean, Yuri Tielemans, Louise. I've gone for Bailey, Diaby, McGinn, and then Ollie Watkins up front. So that's mine. A couple of others who've gone for a few more changes. I'll put Sam's up there because his was a little bit more controversial. Martinez, Cash, Konsa, Longley, Moreno, Tielemans, Louise, Zaniolo, Bailey, Duran, and Diaby. So quite a few changes there. Duran, Zaniolo, Tielemans, Longley, and Moreno. That's quite a few changes for Europe, but also shows the depth that we've got.
Yeah, it does show the depth, because you look at that team and it's a good 11. I think there's too many changes in that. So no surprise that Watkins isn't featured. But we're up against a good team. They haven't lost this season, won 4, drawn 2. And whilst all those players individually are solid professionals that will bring a lot to the game, I don't think, from what I've seen of Zaniolo, that he should be anywhere near a holding midfielder position. I appreciate he won't be that defensive midfielder.
He's more like the number 8.
He's got to be as far up the pitch as possible. I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of those changes were made, but I don't think all of them. Your team had Chambers in at right back. I feel a bit sorry for Chambers, if I'm honest. Like he's never really got the rub of the green in any position that he's played in at any club. And I think he can do a really good job in a number of positions. So I don't think he would let us down if he played at right back. I think he's got, having him on the pitch as a centre half as well as a tall right back, you've got a bit more support. He's not going to be bombing it forward. But again, look, the Villa would have done a lot more analysis than us. I don't know how they play. I don't know if they will be having fullbacks bombing on. I think Chambers is a safe pair of hands, but there's a reason why he doesn't start for us in the Premier League.
Yeah, of course. Now you mentioned Warsaw in terms of their league form, so they're in the Polish like Premier League or Division 1. They're third at the moment in the table. They've had a good start. They've won 4 games. They've drawn 2. I think both of their draws are away from home. So they're a strong performing side in the league. I expect Villa to control possession, but I think it'll be more for Villa around playing the occasion and playing, against a fairly hostile crowd. What do you think is the kind of things that Villa will face in this game?
It's the intensity of the game. I think we've got about 1,500 fans going over.
Yeah.
It's we can't play the occasion. We've got to just play how we know we can play. But then if you look through that team, even if you looked at Sam's team with all those changes, there's seasoned professionals, there's internationals in there that will have experienced this, not in a Villa shirt, of course, but for other teams. I don't think it's going to be a concern for them, but we're a big name, Warsaw are going to come at us. They're going to try and make the most of the home advantage. So I think if we can ride out the first 10, 15 minutes and get into our stride and get on the ball, I think we'll get a good result out of it.
Yeah. I mean, the 31,000 stadium, looking at the flags, it looks pretty intimidating, but I think you bang on. Get past that first 15, 20 minutes, quieten down the crowd, control possession, and I think we'll get a decent result. So just finishing off with the episode, quick score prediction from you, mate. What are you saying? Scoreline and scorers?
They're going to score. Warsaw will score, but I think we'll come away 3-1. I think Duran will score again. That'll be the third goal because I don't think he'll start. I think Watkins will get on. I hope Watkins is going to get on the score sheet. But yeah, Watkins, McGinn, Duran, 3-1 victory, Aston Villa.
Nice. I'm going to go 2-1. I think it's going to be a bit tighter than that, but I think we'll go 2-0 up, but then they'll get a goal. And I agree with you. I think Watkins will score, and I think Diaby will score. And then obviously they'll get a goal to make a bit of a tense finish. But yeah, 2-1 Villa win. Let us know your predictions in the comments, guys. What do you think? What changes do you think Emery's going to make, and what do you think the scoreline is going to be, and who is going to score? Don't forget, on your way out, if you haven't done already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, help us on the road to 3K. Thank you very much all for watching. Rich, thank you for joining me. It's great to have you back. Oh. Yeah, nice one. We're on a bit of a delay, but no problem. Great to have you back on the pod. Thank you everyone for watching. Yeah. And as always, remember, we all follow the Villa. Thanks everyone.
Yeah, it's this